This is the iPhone 7 from 2016, and in a few months it'll be a 10-year-old iPhone. And do you feel old yet? Now, let's see if it's still usable today, which apps still work on it and which don't. But I have a feeling you'll be surprised at how usable it still is today. First up, let's start with the design. And this iPhone was one of the most controversial iPhones ever. Why? Well, simply because it was the first iPhone that got rid of the headphone jack. And 2016 was a completely different era. You didn't see people using AirPods or Bluetooth headphones everywhere like you do now. No, people were still using their wired headphones every single day. Nowadays, not having a headphone jack is pretty much a non-issue for most users, as most people are just using AirPods for convenience. But again, back in 2016, things were very different. Oh, and fun fact, did you know that the AirPods were announced literally minutes after they announced that the iPhone 7 came without a headphone jack? And how convenient is that, right? Apple selling you a solution for a problem that they just created. But yeah, either way, I love my AirPods. I've owned every single generation, but yeah, I still miss the headphone jack. Now, the second thing why the iPhone 7 was so controversial was the removal of the home button. And no, I'm not talking about completely removing it like the iPhone 10 would do 1 year later. No, I'm talking about the home button being replaced by this solid state button that would vibrate when clicked in order to simulate a button press. And what's incredibly cool is that you could actually customize the feel of it. So if you like it to, vibrate more or less, you can simply adjust that. And it was very cool. And I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw that the iPhone 7 would come without a physical home button, I would be like, no, this is going to be so bad. But no, Apple made it genuinely feel like a clickable button. Like, I remember showing my iPhone 7 to my friends first thing when it came out, and nobody even noticed that the button doesn't physically press. They were all like, yeah, this feels like a button. I would have never noticed if you didn't tell me. So that's quite cool. It's actually the same technology that we still use and see in today's MacBooks, where the trackpad vibrates to simulate a click. Well, all MacBooks except for the Neo, which has a physical trackpad. And what's funny is that if the phone is turned off, the illusion completely breaks. You press it and nothing happens. Let me show you on this iPhone 8 Plus. So you see, there's absolutely nothing happening when I tap it. Or well, press it. Because yes, technically it isn't a button. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying the video, feel free to subscribe. It genuinely helps out a lot. Thank you so much. And back to the design, and yeah, this is beautiful. Apple finally got rid of those ugly plastic antenna lines. Let me just show you how they were 1 year before. You see these antenna lines? Yeah, the iPhone 7 still has an antenna line on the outside, but this, the middle one, this was so ugly, and I'm so glad that they got rid of it, because it just looked out of place, to be honest. And as you can tell, the camera bump also became much larger. And this is the year when camera bumps really started becoming bigger and bigger. And the cool part is, if you opted for the iPhone 7 Plus, you actually got two cameras, a regular camera and a telephoto camera. And fun fact, this was actually the first ever iPhone with two cameras on the back. Yes, I know this is an iPhone 8 Plus, not a 7 Plus. I don't have a 7 Plus on hand, but they look pretty much the same on the back. But either way, this iPhone 7 feels extremely premium. It's very thin. It's only like 7.3 millimeters thin. And yeah, I honestly always liked the rose gold color. Performance was also quite solid. It was the first iPhone to use a fusion chip with two different types of cores, efficiency and performance. And that philosophy is still being used today on every single iPhone, iPad and MacBook. For example, the latest M5 chip that just came out uses 4 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores. Actually, Apple just renamed them to super cores. Whatever. Sorry, back to the iPhone. It came with 2 gigs of RAM on the iPhone 7, and fun fact, it came with 3 gigs of RAM on the iPhone 7 Plus, which was incredibly rare for Apple to do at the time. I think it was the first time when Apple's larger model actually had extra features or extra RAM. So what about the display? Well, the regular iPhone 7 came with a 4.7-inch display, while the Plus model came with a 5.5-inch display, which is quite larger and more fingerprinty. And it's a 60Hz Retina LCD, and it looks surprisingly good even today. It also still had 3D touch, which was quite cool. So for example, if I just hold my finger on this app, it'll load a submenu. But if I physically press it harder, the menu instantly appears. I'm sad that Apple removed 3D touch, to be honest. Either way, this was a good display. It's definitely not an OLED, but it's good enough. The camera was also very good, being the first iPhone to offer portrait mode. Well, not on the regular iPhone 7, but on the iPhone 7 Plus. So let me just take a quick photo here and I'll put it on the screen. I mean, it's a good enough camera, and for 10 years ago, this was actually a very good camera. It was one of the best cameras out there, so yeah. The iPhone 7 Plus was also the first iPhone to ever come with the portrait mode, as I said. And you may be starting to see a pattern here. This iPhone was a first of so many things. And next year when the iPhone 10 came out, that one was a first of a ton of other things as well, if it makes sense. It came without a home button, with OLED, with Face ID. The point that I'm trying to make is that Apple was really innovating year to year back then. 2016 brought you this, 2017 had the iPhone 10. And nowadays, we pretty much get, the same iPhone over and over again every year. So, yeah. I'm a bit sad that Apple stopped innovating. Either way, sorry about the rant. Now let's take a look if the iPhone 7 is still usable today. If I'm not mistaken, it should be running iOS 15 point something. Yeah, 15.8.5. And wow, would you take a look at that? It actually got a software update. It's probably just security updates. Yeah, bug fixes and security updates. But look, it's getting updates after 10 years. That's definitely something that only Apple does, to be honest. And, respect to them for supporting an iPhone for 10 years. I'll go ahead and update right after the video. But yeah, iOS 15 is still fine, as I showed in my iPod Touch 7th generation video over here. Most apps still work, such as, for example, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. The only apps that don't work are the more, sensitive apps, such as banking apps. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not sure for how much longer all of these apps will work. And I'm totally expecting these apps to drop support for iOS 15 very, very soon. But even so, right now, a 10-year-old iPhone still works quite well. So yeah, let's try some apps, starting with YouTube. So we have YouTube here. And again, do you hear that? Dual speakers. Again, another first. This was the first ever iPhone to ship with dual speakers. Yeah, sound quality isn't great, and the single speaker on the iPhone Air is probably still better than the dual speakers on the iPhone 7. But again, dual speakers, that was quite cool. Let's take a look at Instagram. And yep, Instagram works just fine. You have the MacBook Neo here. Let's try Safari. Oh, it's already loading apple.com, perfect. As you can tell, Safari works absolutely perfectly. This is the full Apple web page. TikTok also works perfectly. Facebook works perfectly. As I said, most apps still work perfectly on this, and yeah, that's quite cool. But now, let's try some games, starting off with old school RuneScape. I've been playing this game for the past 20 years, 22 years, I don't even know, but yeah, this is by far my favorite game. And if you still play old school RuneScape, please drop a comment down below. And will you take a look at that? It's working perfectly. Old school RuneScape, 10-year-old iPhone. How cool is that? Now let's try something heavier, such as GTA Vice City. And will you take a look at that? GTA Vice City works perfectly. Can I still drive? It looks like I can. GTA Vice City, 10-year-old iPhone, it works perfectly. And finally, let's try Crossy Road. This is one of my favorite games that I used to play a lot on my Apple TV 4th generation, like 10 years ago. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Oh. Okay, there was a bit of lag. I just died. Let me just try again. What is this map? Oh my word. And I died again. Okay, yeah, I'm not good at this, but as you can tell, games work perfectly. Of course, Call of Duty and all of these newer AAA titles are probably not going to work on a 10-year-old iPhone. But most games will, and that's quite cool. And now, the next question. What about battery life? Well, I changed the battery on this iPhone with a cheap one off of Amazon, I don't know, a few months ago. I'll drop the link down below. It was like 15 bucks or something, whatever. And as you may expect, battery life jumped straight back up to 100%. And look, the cool part is there are no errors whatsoever, even when using an aftermarket battery, because this was before the non-genuine part warnings era, which started with the iPhone XS. You could just simply swap out a display, a battery, whatever. The phone didn't care, it just worked. And with this new 100% health battery, it easily lasts me for a day. Of course, this is only a secondary device from time to time. It doesn't have a SIM card in it. But again, as a secondary device, as an iPod, you can still use it quite well. And it works and it lasts all day with a cheap battery of Amazon. And yeah, speaking of iPods, you can actually get one of these lightning to headphone jack adapters and just simply plug it into your aux port in your car, whatever. Use it as an iPod. So the main question is, sorry for laughing, it just looks completely crazy. Let me remove this. So back to the question. Is it usable today, and should you get an iPhone 7 in 2026? Well, yes and no. It is still quite usable, especially as a secondary device to play music, watch YouTube, Twitch, play some games. Yeah, why not? Go for it. Especially since you can find them so cheap. Like seriously, they're cheap nowadays. You can find them on eBay for like $30 or something crazy. But yeah, if you've never had an iPhone 7 and you want to have a play around with it, or if you're looking for an iPod and you can't find one, get one of these. As I said, they're cheap, you can find them anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, either way, let me know down below if you've ever used an iPhone 7 and if you liked it or if you, well, didn't. Or hey, if you're still using one, more powers to you, but please let me know down in the comments below how it holds up. I'm really curious to find out. And as always, I read all comments and I reply to most of them, so feel free to drop a comment down below. And as always, this was Dave on Tech signing out, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers!